Hi friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Naraj Academy. The main aim of this lecture is to discuss about the mathematics previous year questions of PSUs in a very detailed manner. And if you like the content of our channel, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button. So whenever we upload a new video, the direct notifications comes on mobile. If any improvements needed in our new lectures, then please do comment in the comment section. We will definitely include all those improvements in the coming lectures. Please do watch all our videos on the YouTube itself so that our channel can reach to more number of students. I hope you will do it. So let's get started. So now we are going to solve the 21st question. See the question here. A husband and wife appear in an interview for two vacancies for same post. The probability of husband getting selected is 1 by 5, while the probability of wife getting selected is 1 by 7. Then the probability that any one of them getting selected is. So in the question they have given that there are two vacancies for one post, and they also given that a husband and wife are going to go for an interview for this post. So therefore we can say that the probability of husband selecting is 1 by 5, whereas the probability of wife selected is 1 by 7. Then we have to find what is the probability of any one of them is going to get selected. What is that probability we need to figure out. So out of these four options, option A is the correct solution of this question, which is 11 by 35. So now let us solve this numerical. So in the question they are given that there are two vacancies for one post. So therefore we can see clearly the probability of husband selected is 1.5, whereas the probability of wife selected for that vacancy is 1 by 7. So we have to find what is the probability of anyone is going to get selected. So therefore now we can say it is the probability of husband is going to get selected but wife is not going to get selected, or the probability of husband is not going to get selected but wife is going to get selected, or we can say both are going to get selected. So these are the three conditions which are going to get satisfied. So therefore as husband and wife are independent events, so therefore we can say the probability whenever the two events are independent, then probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B. Whenever the two events are independent means the happening or not happening of one event is independent of the happening or the not happening of the other event. Then we are going to say that these two events are said to be independent events. So therefore now by using that property we can say, which is probability of husband selected into the probability of wife is not going to get selected plus the probability of husband is not going to get selected into the probability of wife is going to get selected plus the probability of husband is going to get selected into the probability of wife is going to get selected. This value we know, which is 1 by 5, and if you want to know what is the probability of not going to get selected of wife, which is 1 minus of 1 by 7, and similarly the probability of husband is not going to get selected is, which is 1 minus of 1 by 5 into this is 1 by 7, and similarly the probability of husband is going to get selected is 1 by 5, and this value also we know, which is 1 by 7. So here 1 by 5 into this will become 6 by 7, and this is 4 by 5 into 1 by 7 plus 1 by 5 into 1 by 7. So if we do the cross multiplication, we are going to get 6 by 35, 4 by 35 plus 1 by 35. So if you take LCM as 35, you are going to get 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 1 is 11. So therefore the correct solution of this question is 11 by 35. I can also do this question in the another format also, which is, see, this is the probability of husband is going to get selected and the probability of wife is going to get selected. We want what is the probability any one of them is going to get selected, means the probability of H union W is equal to probability of H plus probability of W minus probability of H intersection W. As husband and wife are independents, so we can say the probability of H intersection W is equal to probability of H into probability of W. We know the value of each and everything. So the probability of husband selected is 1 by 5 and the probability of wife is going to get selected is 1 by 7. So you can substitute all these values 1 by 5 into 1 by 7. So here 1 by 5 plus 1 by 7 minus 1 by 35. So here the LCM is 35. So 7 plus 5 is 12 minus 1 by 35. If you take LCM as 35, 12 minus 1 is 11. So therefore you can go by any of this method, you are going to get the same result. Means anyone can be selected. If husband is going to get selected or wife is not going to get selected, or you can say husband is selected but wife not. But here husband is not selected but still wife is selected, or husband is selected and also wife is also selected. Any one of them can selected. So therefore this is our net probability. So 11 by 35 is the correct solution of this question. So we can also solve this question in one more method also, which is probability of any of them is going to get selected is equal to 1 minus not even one is going to get selected, means probability of H union W whole complement. It is nothing but 1 minus P of H complement intersection of W complement. So these are independent events. So you can write 1 minus of P of H bar into P of W bar. So 1 minus P of H bar is 1 minus 1 by 5 and P of W bar is 1 minus 1 by 7. So 1 minus 1 by 5 is 4 by 5 and 1 minus 1 by 7 is 6 by 7. So 1 minus 6 4 are 24, 5 7 are 35. So if you solve this one, 35 minus 24 by 35, which is 35 minus 24 is 11 by 35. So therefore we are going to get the same as the previous result. So no matter whatever the method you are going to prefer, still the result is same. So therefore we can say that the probability of any one of them is going to selected is equal to 1 minus not even any one of them is going to selected. So by using that also we can get the same solution. So now we are going to solve the 22nd question. See the question here. The modulus of the 1 plus cos alpha plus I sin alpha is. So we have to find what is the modulus of this expression, which is of the complex number, which is 1 plus cos alpha plus I sin alpha. We need to find. See, modulus means we have to find what is the length of this vector, or we can say we have to find what is the length from origin to that particular point. We need to figure out. So out of these four options, option B is the correct solution of this question, which is 2 into cos alpha by 2. So let's solve this numerical. Suppose there is a complex number which is a plus ib. So this is called as a rectangular format. Now I am going to convert into polar format, which is the magnitude is under root over a square plus b square and the angle part is sin inverse of b by a. So we are going to call this term as the modulus, and this part we are going to call it as the argument. So in the question they are given the complex number which is 1 plus cos alpha plus I sin alpha. So for this expression we have to find what is the value of the modulus. Means let me assume this is a and this is b. So therefore under root over a square plus b square. So a is equal to 1 plus cos alpha and b is equal to sin alpha. You can substitute in place of a and b. You are going to get only in the question they are asked only about the modulus, means only this part we are going to consider. So therefore under root over 1 plus cos alpha whole square plus sin alpha whole square. See, a plus b whole square is nothing but a square plus b square plus 2ab. So we are going to get 1 square plus cos square alpha plus 2 cos alpha plus sin square alpha. See, cos square alpha plus sin square alpha is nothing but 1. So therefore under root over 1 plus 2 cos alpha. 1 plus 1 is 2. So therefore under root over 2 plus 2 cos alpha. 2 I am going to take as a common, which is under root over 2 into 1 plus cos alpha. But cos 2 theta is equal to 2 cos square theta minus 1. I am going to take minus 1 to the LHS. We are going to get left hand side 1 plus cos 2 theta is equal to 2 cos square theta. Let I am going to assume theta is equal to alpha by 2. Then I am going to get 1 plus cos alpha is equal to 2 cos square alpha by 2. So in place of 1 plus cos alpha, I am going to substitute 2 cos square alpha by 2. So here I am going to get 2 into, I am going to replace 1 plus cos alpha as 2 cos square alpha by 2. So 2 into cos square alpha by 2. So 2 2s are 4. 4 into cos square alpha by 2, we have to take the root. So we are going to get 2 into cos of alpha by 2. So therefore we can say the modulus of this part will be 2 into cos square alpha by 2 is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the 23rd question. See the question here. What is the value of the double integral of 0 to 1 and 0 to 1 dx dy by under root over 1 minus x square into 1 minus x square is? So we have to find this double integral of this expression. We need to figure out. So out of these four options, option C is the correct solution of this question, which is pi square by 4. So let's solve this numerical. So now we have to find the y is equal to 0 to 1 and also x is equal to 0 to 1 dx dy by under root over 1 minus x square into 1 minus y square. We need to find this integral, we need to double integral we need to figure out. So what I am going to do is I am going to split it into two parts, which is here ab all to the power of m is equal to a to the power of m into b to the power of m. So by using this formula I am going to split into two parts, which is 1 by under root over 1 minus x square into 1 by under root over 1 minus y square into dx dy. So you can see clearly this is only in the term of x. This is also only in the term of y, and also the integral is only with respect to x. It is independent of y. So from 0 to 1 and y is also 0 to 1, means x is independent of y and y is independent of x. So therefore now we can do the separable integral. So therefore because one is going to be independent of the other, then we can say that we can easily go for the separate way of integration. So therefore here we are going to do with respect to y and here we are going to do with respect to x, because one is independent of the other, because x is only, it is not even any function of y and y is not even function of any x. So because of this method we are going to do the separable way of integral, means by separately we are going to do the integration. So now the basic formula, which is integration of 1 by under root over a square minus x square dx, is nothing but sin inverse of x by a. So now I can write, which is 1 square minus also 1 square, because 1 square is again 1. So sin inverse of this one will be y by 1 with the limits y is equal to 0 to 1, and the integration of 1 by under root over 1 square minus x square dx is sin inverse of x by a. Here a is equal to 1, so x by 1. Now substitute the limits x is equal to 0 to 1. So upper limit minus lower limit. So in place of y substitute 1, again 0. So sin inverse of 1 minus sin inverse of 0. Here also in place of x substitute the upper limit, again lower limit. So therefore sin inverse of 1 minus sin inverse of 0. Sin inverse of 1 is pi by 2, whereas sin inverse of 0 is 0. And similarly sin inverse of 1 is pi by 2, sin inverse of 0 is 0. So pi by 2 minus 0 into pi by 2 minus 0 is again pi by 2 into pi by 2 is pi square by 4. So this is the correct solution of this question, which is pi square by 4 is the correct solution of this question. I take this opportunity to discuss some of the important formulas of integration because most of the questions are being asked on these formulas. So I take this opportunity to discuss some of the important formulas. See, integration of 1 by under root over a square minus x square dx is sin inverse of x by a. And integration of 1 by under root over, now just we are going to flip it, or we are going to change the position of x and a. We are going to get under root over x square minus a square dx is equal to cos h inverse of x by a. We can write, which we can also write in terms of log, which is log x plus under root over x square minus a square. Suppose if you are going to replace minus by plus, we are going to get integration of 1 by under root over x square plus a square dx is equal to, just in place of cos, write sin h inverse of x by a, or you can also equal to log of x plus under root over x square plus a square. But now what we are going to do is, now we are going to take the reciprocal of this one. So integration of under root over a square minus x square dx is equal to, and again here also integration of just doing the reciprocal of this one. So under root over x square minus a square, here also we are going to do the reciprocal of this one, which is integration of under root over x square plus a square dx. So for these three things I am going to tell you the common procedure, which is take positive, negative, positive. And here the coefficients are a square by 2 for each and everything, and here also the coefficients are x by 2. Take as it is. Same value we have to take here. Under root over x square minus a square, these two are same, these two are also same. But here you have to go for the first term, which is sin inverse of x by a, next cos h inverse of x by a, and similarly the last one is sin h inverse of x by a. So therefore this is the easy way to remember this one. Plus minus plus, all the coefficients are a square by 2, all the coefficients are x by 2. Now whatever this value, take it as it is. Take it as it is. And I have already told you under root over a square minus x square for the sin inverse of x by a, and next one is cos h inverse of x by a, and the last one is sin h inverse of x by a. So this is the easy way to remember this integration of this formula. So if you know this one, you can easily figure out the integration of these values, you can easily figure out the expression. So few more formulas also we are going to discuss, which is integration of 1 by a square plus x square dx is 1 by a tan inverse of x by a, and integration of 1 by a square minus x square dx is 1 by 2a log of a plus x by a minus x. Integration of 1 by, if you are going to reverse this one, which is 1 by x square minus a square dx is equal to, if you remember this one, it is very easy to remember. Just flip the positions a to x and x to a, which will become x plus a by x minus a, and then do the reverse process. Interchange numerator to denominator and denominator to numerator. We are going to get x minus a by x plus a. So therefore same value 1 by 2a log of this value you should take now, x minus a by x plus a. Just interchange the value of x to a to x and x to a, then do the interchange. Then we are going to get like this expression. Integration of e to the power of ax sin bx dx is equal to e to the power of ax by a square plus b square into, here sin means definitely negative. The coefficients are a, b, the first term is sin, so sin bx into here cos bx. Going for the integration of e to the power of x cos bx dx is equal to same as the previous one, e to the power of ax by a square plus b square, but here cos means positive. The coefficients are same as the previous one, a, b, but only thing is here sin means the first term is sin, but the cos means the first term is cos, so cos bx and then sin bx. So these are the some of the important formulas, because most of the questions are being asked on these formulas. That is the reason I have given a small amount of revision of all these formulas. So now we are going to solve the 24th question. See the question here. A bag contains 8 white and 6 red marbles. The probability of drawing 2 marbles of same color is, see there is a bag. There in that bag there are 8 white and 6 red marbles. So what is the probability of drawing 2 marbles of same color? We need to figure out. So out of these 4 options, option B is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So basically there is a bag which is going to contain 8 white balls and 6 red balls. Then the question they are asking, what is the probability of choosing 2 balls of same color? See, the first thing is we can choose either 2 balls of white or we can choose 2 balls of red also. Then what is the probability of choosing white and red balls of 2, which is out of 8 I need to choose 2 white balls. So 8C2 plus I need to choose from 6 balls, I need to choose 2 balls of red colors, which is 6C2 by overall 8 plus 6 is 14. So out of 14 I need to choose only 2 balls. So therefore 14C2. So this is the net probability. So therefore we can see this is the probability with respect to 8C2 by 14C2 is nothing but this is the probability with respect to choosing any of the 2 white balls out of 8 white balls, plus here 6C2 by 14C2, it is nothing but again this is a probability of choosing out of 6 red balls we are going to choose only 2 red balls. See, we can go for both of these, so therefore overall probability is nothing but we have to go for the addition. So this is the correct solution of this question. Now we are going to solve the 25th question. See the question here. Consider the function f of x defined as. So there is a function f of x which is 3x minus 1 for x less than 0 and it is equal to 0 for x is equal to 0 and it is equal to 2x plus 5 for x greater than 0. In the following table, list 1 shows 4 expressions for limits of f of x and list 2 indicates the values of the limits. So in the list 1 they are given the limits of the function f of x at certain values, and in the list 2 they are given the answers for this. So the correct matches for item of in list 1 and list 2 are. So we have to match list 1 and list 2 with respect to the limits for a particular values of in this question they are given. So out of the 4 options, option A is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. See, in the question they are given the function f of x which is 3x minus 1 for x less than 0 is equal to 0 for x is equal to 0 and it is 2x plus 5 by x greater than 0. So we have to find for the option A which is the list 1 option A which is means the first bit is we have to find what is the value of the limit x tends to 2 f of x we need to figure out. See, limit x tends to 2 f of x we need to figure out. See, limit is going to exist at any point when the right hand limit is equal to left hand limit at that particular point, then only the limit is going to get exist, otherwise the limit is not going to get exist. So we have to find what is the right hand limit and the left hand limit. So limit x tends to 2 plus means a small amount of higher than 2 means like 2.0001. So 2.000 is 1 is always greater than 2. So therefore a small amount of step forward to the 2 we have to find what is this value. So for means 2 is nothing but it is greater than 0. So therefore the function is 2x plus 5. So limit x to the 2 plus in this region the function is 2x plus 5. So therefore in place of x substitute 2.00001 is nothing but it's again 2. So therefore in place of x substitute 2, so therefore 2 into 2 is 4 plus 5 which is 9. So therefore the right hand limit of the function is 9. Similarly you have to check the left hand limit also, means at just before the 2 means 1 point means 1.99999 like that, it is nearly 2. So therefore we have to check at that region at that point what is the value of the function. So limit x tends to 2 minus f of x is equal to limit x tends to 2 minus it is again greater than 0. So therefore we can say this is a function 2x plus 5. So in place of x we have to substitute 2. So therefore 2 into 2 plus 5 is again 9. So you can see clearly the right hand limit is equal to left hand limit. So therefore the limit is going to exist at that point which is equal to 9. So therefore this is the correct solution of this question. For the A bit the limit x tends to 2 f of x is equal to 9. Similarly for B bit we need to find what is the value of the limit x tends to 0 plus f of x we need to figure out. So 0 plus means a higher than 0 means it is a small amount of higher than 0 is nothing but it is nearly greater than 0. So therefore we can say it means say 0 plus means it is nothing but 0.000001. So you can see clearly this value is greater than 0. So we have to take that function which is greater than 0 which is 2x plus 5. So therefore limit x tends to 0 plus the function is 2x plus 5. So in place of x if you keep a very small amount of 0 it is again nearly equal to 0. So therefore in place of x you can replace 0. So therefore 2 into 0 plus 5 is again 5. So therefore this is the correct solution of this question for the B bit. For the C bit the limit x tends to 0 minus f of x we need to figure out. So therefore we can see clearly 0 minus means we can simply say that it is lesser than 0 means it is nearly minus 0.00001. So it is less than 0 means the function defined is 3x minus 1. So therefore we have to go limit x tends to 0 minus 3x minus 1. So in place of x substitute 0. So 0 minus 1 is again minus 1. So therefore limit x tends to 0 minus f of x is minus 1. So from this I am going to give you some interesting point. If you see clearly for limit x tends to 0 plus the value is 5 and limit x tends to 0 minus the limit is minus 1. So you can see clearly that both the right hand limit and the left hand limit at point 0 are different So therefore we can say this is called as the limit is not going to get exist, and also both are different. It means there is a discontinuous, there is a jump, like highest amount of jump. So therefore a instantaneous amount of jump is going to present. So therefore a small amount of this value it is like this, and for a small amount of higher this value is this one. So therefore there is a certain amount of jump between this point 0. So in the question if they are going to asking what is the value of the limit extends to 0, the function f of x is undefined, means it is not defined. So we can say this is we can't define. Now because both the right hand limit and the left hand limit are not same, so therefore we can say it is not defined. In the D bit, they are asking about the limit extends to 3 f of x, means we have to find the right hand limit and the left hand limit. So therefore limit extends to 3 plus f of x. 3 plus means it is greater than 0. So therefore at greater than 0 the function is 2x plus 5. So in place of 2x plus 5, in place of x substitute 3. So 3 to the 6 plus 5 is 11. And similarly we have to find the left hand limit also. So limit extends to 3 minus f of x is equal to limit extends to 3 minus is again greater than 0. So therefore you have to go for this function 2x plus 5. So in place of 2x plus 5 means in place of x you have to substitute is equal to 3. So 3 to the 6 plus 5 it is again 11. So if you see clearly at the point 3 the right hand limit and the left hand limit are both are same, it is equal to 11. So therefore we can say the limit extends to 3, the function is equal to 11. So therefore these are the values for a bit, b bit and c bit and d bit. So you can see clearly only if the limit, if the right hand limit and the left hand limit are equal, then only the limit is going to exist at that particular point. And also whenever same property is also going to hold for the differentiation. At any point if the right hand side differentiation and the left hand side differentiation are same, then only we can say that differentiation at that point is going to get exist, otherwise it is not going to get exist. So now we are going to solve the 26th question. See the question, what is the inverse of the matrix? So they are given a question of matrix A, so we have to find what is the inverse of this matrix, we need to figure out. So out of the 4 options, option D is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. Suppose this is a matrix they are given in the question. So for this matrix we have to find what is the inverse of this matrix, we need to figure out. The basic formula is, suppose A is equal to ABCD, then the inverse of this matrix formula is, which is 1 by AD minus BC into D minus B minus C and A. So here by using this formula we are going to solve this question, which is the product of these two components is cos square theta minus of product of these two components. So we are going to get 1 by cos square theta plus sin square theta into D minus B minus C and A. So if you solve this one, cos square theta plus sin square theta is nothing but 1. So same thing we are going to get again. So therefore cos theta minus sin theta and cos theta. So the basic formula, which is for the matrix ABCD, the inverse of this matrix is 1 by AD minus BC into D minus B minus CA. So by using this formula we have did this question. So this is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the 27th question. See the question here. The value of the definite integral of integration from x is equal to 0 to pi by 2 whole to the power of 1 by 3 x square into sine of x cube dx is. So here definite integral means the integration limits are specified. Indefinite means the limits of integration are not defined. So this is the difference between the definite integral and also the indefinite integral. So for definite integral the limits of the integration are defined, but for indefinite the limits are not going to get defined. So we have to find this integral of this function across these two limits, we need to figure out. So out of these 4 options, option D 1 by 3 is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So in the question they have asked what is the value of the integral x is equal to 0 to pi by 2 whole to the power of 1 by 3 x square into sine of x cube dx. So this integration we need to figure out. See, then I am going to assume x cube is equal to t. So therefore I am going to do differentiation with respect to t. So therefore 3x square dx by dt is equal to 1. So therefore x square into dx is equal to dt by 3. See, what I am going to do is I am going to convert this complex integration into a very simple integration. See, x is a dummy variable. I can replace x with any other variable so that I can make the simplification in a very easier manner. So therefore here x is varying from 0 to pi by 2 all the power of 1 by 3. If x is equal to 0, then what is the value of t? Because t is equal to x cube means 0 to the power of 3 is nothing but again 0. So when x is equal to 0, then definitely t is also equal to 0. But when x is equal to pi by 2 all the power of 1 by 3, I want to know what is the value of t, because t is equal to x to the power of 3, but x is equal to pi by 2 all the power of 1 by 3. So 3 cancels, we are going to get pi by 2. So when x is equal to 0, t is equal to 0, but when x is equal to pi by 2 all the power of 1 by 3, then t is equal to pi by 2. So therefore, we are going to convert this complex integration in terms of x to a very simple integration in terms of t, because x is a dummy variable. We can replace x by any other variable. So therefore, I is equal to, we are now converting all in terms of x into converting into all into t, because to make the simplification very easier. So therefore, t is equal to 0 to pi by 2. Here x cube is t, x square dx is again dt by 3. So therefore, sin t into dt by 3, as 1 by 3 is a constant value, we can take outside of the integration, which is 1 by 3 into integral of t is equal to 0 to pi by 2 sin t into dt. Integration of sin t is minus cos t. So 1 by 3 into minus cos t, we have to substitute the limits. T is equal to 0 to pi by 2. So I can take minus outside, which is minus 1 by 3, upper limit minus lower limit, which is cos of pi by 2 minus cos of 0. As cos pi by 2 is 0 and cos 0 is 1, so therefore 0 minus 1 is again minus 1. Minus 1 into minus 1 by 3 is again plus 1 by 3. So therefore, this is the overall answer of this question. So therefore, the correct answer of this question is 1 by 3. So this overall complex integration is going to give you a number which is 1 by 3. So this is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the 28th question. See the question here. Evaluate integration of theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2 sin to the power of 6 into theta dt. So sin theta over the power of 6 into d theta, we need to figure out this integration. So out of these four options, option D is the correct solution of this question, which is 5 pi by 32. So let's solve this numerical. So before I solve this question, let me tell you a small basic formula, which is integration of theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2 sin to the power of m theta cos the power of n theta, or you can say sin theta over the power of m into cos theta over the power of n into d theta is equal to, see here how you do this value, which is, see first thing is m, go for the m minus 1, then remove the next term and then go for the remaining term. So m minus c, like that you have to go until you are going to get the 1. Again here also same thing, here take the n minus 1 and remove one term and go for the other terms in the same manner up to you are going to get the value of 1. By go for the addition of these two things, m plus n, and then go for the subtraction of one term you have to remove in between them, and then into pi by 2. So you have to multiply this pi by 2 only when m and n are both are even, otherwise you don't have to multiply pi by 2. It's a very special condition. If m and n are compulsory even, both should be even, then only you have to do the multiplication of pi by 2, otherwise you don't have to do the multiplication of pi by 2. So now the question they are asking, what is the value of theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2 sin theta over the power of 6 d theta. So I can write, which is, again I can write like this also, cos the power of 0 theta into d theta, same thing as this one. So here m and n, m is equal to 6 and n is equal to 0, so both are even numbers, so therefore definitely you have to go for the multiplication of pi by 2. So now as n is equal to 0, so you don't have to do this procedure, so therefore you can remove this one. So now sin theta over the power of 6 is a even number, take the value of 6 minus 1 means 6 minus 1 is 5, and then remove the next term, which is 4, remove that one and go for the second one, which is 3, again 2 you have to remove and then go for the another one, which is 1. Now 6 is there, same as the 6. Now remove the next term 5 and then go for the next term, which is 4, again remove 3, go for the 2. So like this you have to do until you are going to get either 1 or not. So up to this you have to go for this one into pi by 2. So 5 3 is 15 by 6 4 is 24 into 2 into pi by 2. So 3 5 is 3 8 is, so 5 pi by 8 to the 16, 16 to the 32. So therefore 5 pi by 32. So this is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the 29th question. See the question here. The value of x at which y has a minimum for y is equal to x square minus 3x plus 1. So for this function y is equal to x square minus 3x plus 1, we have to find at what value of x this graph is going to have a minimum value. We need to figure out. So out of these four options, option B 3 by 2 is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So in the question there is a function y is equal to x square minus 3x plus 1. So for this function we have to find at what value of x there will be minimum point we need to figure out. So the first thing is here, first you have to do the differentiation of y with respect to x we need to figure out, because by using that we are going to find the stationary points. So dy by dx is equal to 0 we need to figure out. So if you do the dy by dx we are going to get 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. So if you solve this one we are going to get x is equal to 3 by 2. So at only x is equal to 3 by 2 it is a stationary point. Then we have to go for the second derivative. So d square y by dx square. For the first derivative you have to go for the one more time differentiation, we are going to get 2. So d square y by dx square at point x is equal to 3 by 2 stationary point is 2 is greater than 0. So therefore whenever it is greater than 0, the second derivative at a particular point we are going to say that there is a minimum. So therefore if f double dash of x at a particular point x naught, if it is greater than 0, means here at x naught there will be a minimum point it is going to get occur. But similarly if f double dash of x at a particular point x naught, if it is less than 0, means there will be x naught, there will be a point of maximum. So this is the thing that you need to remember. So therefore from this we can say that at x is equal to 3 by 2, definitely y is going to have a minimum point. Suppose if you want to draw the graph of this function y with respect to x, then in place of at x is equal to 3 by 2, if you substitute in place of x, if you substitute 3 by 2, and if you solve this one, we are going to get minus 5 by 4. So therefore minus 5 by 4 means like this point, and if you substitute x is equal to 0, we are going to get 1. So y is equal to 1. So I have drawn this graph. So therefore you can see clearly for this graph, you can see at 3 by 2 there is a minimum, means there is a dip minimum, but at no other points there is no stationary, slope is not equal to 0. At any point it is always going to get increase. So therefore only at x is equal to 3 by 2 this function will have a minimum point. And if you want to know what is that minimum value of the function, which is minus 5 by 4, but at what point of x the minimum is going to occur, means it is 3 by 2. So at 3 by 2 is the correct solution of this question. So this is the last question of this lecture. See the question here. Integration of x is equal to 0 to pi by 2 cos x whole cube into dx we need to figure out. So out of these four options, option B 2 by 3 is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So this type of question just now we have discussed. Again I am going to repeat the formula, which is integration of theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2 sin theta whole the power of m into cos theta whole the power of n into d theta is equal to, first we have to take the minus of this term and minus of this term, and then after that you have to remove the next numbers, and then you have to go for the previous numbers. Means you have to remove the previous number and you have to go in that procedure, then you are going to get like this. And similarly here for the denominator case, we have to do the addition of these two terms m plus n, and then you have to remove the preceding number, means the just previous number you have to remove, and you have to go in the step manner, and you have to go for the into of pi by 2 only when if m and n are both even, then only you have to go for the multiplication of pi by 2, otherwise you don't have to go. Means if at least if anyone is odd, then you don't have to do this one. Only if m and n are both even, then only we have to go for the multiplication of pi by 2. So now we have to find what is the value of integration theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2 cos x whole cube dx. So we can write in this also in another format, which is sin x whole to the power of 0 into cos x whole cube dx also we can write. So therefore here m is a even number but n is a odd number, so therefore you don't have to go for the multiplication of pi by 2. So you have to go only for this term. So therefore here cos, first thing is you have to go for the minus of the first number. 3 minus 1 is 2. Then 2 preceding number is means just previous, means just before 2 is 1. So after that 0. So you don't have to take the value of 0. Then by, again you have to say take as it is 3. Next previous number is 2. So you don't have to take that value. Then next go for another value, which is 2 after 2 is previous of 2 is again 1. So therefore into pi by 2 you don't have to take this one. So therefore answer will be 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 is the correct solution of this question. So by this lecture we have successfully completed the 30 questions in a very detailed manner. And if you like the content of our channel, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button. Whenever you upload a new video, the direct notices comes on mobile. If any improvements in our lectures, then please do comment in the comment section. We will definitely include all those improvements in the coming lectures. Please do watch all our videos in the YouTube itself, so that our channel will grow and it will reach to the more number of students. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. Keep smiling, take care, and bye bye.